Hey there, it's me again, Jeanne-Marie Pennell. I've got another tip for you today, and that is decide what you will do ahead of time. So this has quite a few little aspects to it, but basically it's first of all, checking in with your values. I think all families have different values. Our parenting partners even have different values. Our other caregivers. So sometimes we need to be aware of what we will, how we would want to react to something, and maybe talk it through with your parenting partners or your other caregivers. This is an important aspect. But here in this matter, it's really about deciding ahead of time what you kind of what your expectations are of your child. So for example, plan ahead in your mind, and even have these conversations with them, especially if you have older children. But it's really this notion of, when the table is set, then I'll serve dinner, or I will help you with homework on Tuesdays, but not at the last minute. Or maybe it's when your chores are done, we can go out and play, or things like that. But it's really important that you have kind of made these agreements ahead of time, or that you have really decided what it is that you plan, or how you plan to react to a certain situation. And it is important to plan ahead. And this is true in many different situations. I talk about this a lot when we do, for example, Montessori activities. Sometimes we need to practice them by ourselves to be able to present them well. So this is the same notion of that, is really preparing ourselves ahead of time. And then there's another aspect of it, and this is also kind of preparing your children to how you might act if a situation comes up. So Jane Nelson, the author of all the positive discipline books, and so grateful to have been mentored by her, but she shares this wonderful example of a mother and her two children who, every time they get into the car, they start bickering and, wanting what the other one wants, and it becomes kind of chaotic, and it stresses her out. So she's checked in with herself, right? And so here she just, tells her children, listen, I've noticed that every time we get in the car, you start, bickering and fighting, and it's really stresses me out, and it's really not safe for me to be driving when there's children, fighting in the back seat. So to keep us all safe, if this happens on our way to, dance class, soccer game, whatever it is, or, your drive to school, I'm going to bring a book with me, and I'm just going to pull over on the side of the road and just read my book until you two stop fighting. And the only thing that I want from you is to just let me know when you are done fighting. So of course, parents, take a little bit of time ahead to follow through on this one. But it's pretty powerful, because then, you remind them before getting in the car, and they start bickering. And instead of, turning around, stop fighting. No need to turn around. You pull over on the side of the road and you start reading your book without a single word. So this is really about following through with what we said we would do, without reminding them, without nagging. It's just really like, oh my gosh, my parents really mean what they say they're going to do. And this is really important also to establish trust with our children. We're really following through with what we would do, say we would do. Okay, so this is the third tip. Decide what you will do ahead of time. I will see you for the next one.